Right now, it is that time that we said earlier on. We're going to look at the 8 bills that were passed by President William Ruto. That is on the 15th of October. And if you went to social media, a lot of people are saying we are in mourning, and then somebody passed some bills. Why have they been passed in secrecy? What is going on?
Secrecy where?
We are woke as Kenyans.
Kuna secrecy zinapitishangwa tu hivyo.
See, we felt like why now?
Kwa sababu ya rao.
But we are in mourning.
Hapana.
What?
Atatuelezea kwa nini alisign.
In studio, we do have an advocate of the High Court, Lawrence Obonyo. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm very grateful for you having me this morning.
Good to see you.
Pleasure is all mine. It's been a minute.
It has. How long? A month?
About a month or two.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been a minute.
The prodigal son returns. Anyway.
I hope I'm welcome.
While he was away.
While he was away. Oh.
Baba left us.
Too soon.
Salim.
Where?
How are you feeling? Kenya is in mourning. Still is in mourning.
Yes. We're deeply saddened, and particularly for the people who looked up to Baba, we really are hurt still.
Yeah.
But it's life. Sometimes when life happens, you have nothing but to accept.
Yeah.
It's difficult, and it's easy to say that accept and move on, but it's not easy.
It's not.
Yeah, good thing he's left us with a lot to live by. So every time we turn and think of something, we will be thinking of Baba.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So his legacy will live on through each and every one of us.
Yeah.
Even what we're discussing today in the morning, it will be part of what Baba put us here.
Yeah.
Yes,
and of course we honor that. Now let's get into this. 8 bills were passed by the president on the 15th of October.
Assented. Yes. The bills had already been passed in parliament.
Oh.
Yes. The president has nothing with passing of the bills.
He assented.
Yes.
I live with lawyers nowadays.
We live with lawyers. You married one? Did you marry one?
That one is a secret.
Okay. He assented to the bills.
Yes.
Right? And we have the National Land Commission Amendment Bill 2023.
Yes.
And then we also have the Land Amendment Bill 2024. We have the Wildlife Conservation and Management Bill 2023, Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Bill 2024, National Police Service Commission Amendment Bill 2024, Air Passenger Service Charge Bill 2025, Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill 2025, and Privatization Bill 2025.
Yes.
It's a lot. Why do this matter?
The bills, let me first of all say that it does matter a lot because, again, one can read a lot at the timing. The timing was really poor because it was, I think, an hour or two after the demise of our beloved Baba.
Yeah.
But again, on one end, I've been thinking about it, and I think we do not need to fault the president because at the end of the day, these bills had already been discussed in parliament for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. The bills were already passed. Mm-hmm. So all we were waiting for is their assenting. And you see, every time you have, we say in law that law abhors vacuum. Yeah. So we do not need to have a vacuum at any given point. Most of these bills are amendments. When you see amendments, then they've identified a lacuna or something that needs to be filled. Yeah. So once it has been done and maybe the president sees that he's returned them, they've already had discussions, lobbying has been done, then all that is remaining as a mandate is for him to assent. Yeah. So this assenting, though it came at a very poor time, but it was something that was necessary to be done. Mm-hmm. Yes, there was no two way about it. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let's look at the land reforms as in the National Land Commission and Land Amendment Bill. Yes. So Kenya's land question has always been very sensitive, even in the coast when we're having that conversation.
Indeed.
Yeah. Do these new amendments finally fix the historic land injustice, or are we just repackaging the same problem with the new wording?
When you look at the National Land Commission, like the amendments that have been introduced, it only introduces one aspect that actually goes deeper to discuss what was there. But to answer your question, it does not address everything. Mm-hmm. it only gives clear guidelines based on the practical issues that have come up when we look at the Act.
Yeah.
Most of the times people are looking, even today in the morning when we were discussing with Barisa, he was talking about TJRC when you talk of historical injustices. By the end of the day, the actualization of the Act has been something that has been outstanding for a very long time.
Yeah.
You find that the National Land Commission has become more or less of a data collection entity. They did not have the powers to do the actual, to go the actual extra mile to ensure that someone achieves that. So the amendment that has been introduced, and to be more specific, this amendment is a replacement of Section 14. So there's this aspect that has actually improved. Section 14 and 15 have improved the powers that are granted to the National Land Commission. And if you look at possibly sub-article 7, it talks, let's talk of 6 first of all. It says that where the commission finds that the title was irregularly acquired, and the commission shall take appropriate steps to correct the irregularity or make consequential orders. So in the aspect that initially they could only make a recommendation, come to a finding, and then you get that finding, you go back to court with it, then you have to battle it afresh. But now they are given the mandate to actually correct the irregularity. But if you look at what comes before that, that's the most interesting bit. Sub-article 5 says that where the commission finds that the title was acquired unlawful, in an unlawful manner, the commission shall direct the registrar to revoke the title. Initially, again, it was just a recommendation. But the wordings in law are very important. When you say direct, does not leave room, and the usage of the word shall, not may, shall, it is mandatory. And direct is actually, is not a suggestion. It's like Miriam telling Salim, do this. So you have no option of starting.
You have to do it.
You have to do it. So I believe that these particular amendments to this National Land Commission gives more powers. You see, the way we've been fighting about agencies that are just toothless dogs. Now we have a symbolic aspect where the teeth have been given to the National Land Commission. So I find that it's very positive and takes us to the good direction, because it gives powers and fail-safes that if you're not satisfied, you can go back to court, and gives another option, or what lawyers call administrative action, where you say that the decision that was taken did not follow due procedure, went beyond the powers and mandate. So that is what we call Fair Administrative Action Act. So that is where now we are guided by this. Yes.
So meaning it's been given, when you say it's been given tip.
Yes.
Now it's not just a data collection entity,
so to speak.
Does that mean that we'll have better wetland issues will be solved in an amicable manner now, and we won't have a lot of we won't see all these situations of this land issue? I'm talking about, we had an interview with
Nagib Shamsan.
Yes, and he was talking about how when it comes to land, it goes way back. You know, the things that the problems that zilifanywa kule
Nyuma.
In the very early days.
Yes, in the very early days.
Yes.
With this kind of power, is the National Land Commission able to rectify some of these things?
Yes. And the amendment actually now goes deeper, because remember, with your guest and what people have been going by is stretching the understanding of what historical injustices are. Now, when you look at Section 15, it actually defines what historical injustice is. Tells you that any act that happened during the colonial time that occurred between 1895, 15th June 1895, and 27th August 2010. So it gives you a period of time. And then it goes further to say that historical injustices are things that include, they are not limited, but include colonial occupation, independence struggle during that time, pre-independence struggle, development-induced displacement, like someone comes build on your land, and inequitable land adjudication process, like let's say in a family, then maybe there are 2 wives and their children, and then one part of the family is not as educated or as exposed as the other one, and the other one goes and acquires and is given adjudication of land, the other one is left out. So they say that inequitable land adjudication process, if the process was not fair to both parties, then you can revisit. You find that there are instances where you have 2 or 3 siblings and one says alipewa na mimi sikupewa, ama alichukua documents akaenda akaprocess, sasa title ikatoka kwa jina lake, sisi hatukupata. That's an inequitable adjudication process. Now we talk about politically motivated conflict, and we also talk about corruption and other forms of illegality. Natural disaster, so there are certain natural disasters that rob you of land. You've ever heard of those people who live next to a water body, and then the parcels of land, because of a rising water, is taken away. Now when they move back, it creates conflict with the other people on the other side. So those brings about those issues that now need to be adjudicated. So these amendments go deeper into the redefining and showing what can be done. Yes. So they will minimize. They will not completely eliminate, but they will minimize. Yes.
Mimi wanaishi kwenye mashaka wakili, kwa sababu kuna vitu ambavyo kwamba vinafanywa na serikali, maybe tuseme via the ministry.
Yes.
And then kuna, as much as NLC ni part parcel ya hiyo ministry, but iko, as you always say, it is independent.
Yes.
Sasa for example, tuchukulia hapa Mombasa. Juzi hapa, they said how many title deeds kule Jomvu the other day, I think some 400 and something.
I think 400, over 400.
Over 400. Now hao watu wamepewa title deed, but land ilikuwa yako. Wewe ni mzee, hata umefariki. But hizo titles zimekuja kupewa wajukuu. Now na wale wenye walifanyiwa hiyo mnaita sijui ni mapping na nini na adjudication ni wewe. So mimi ndo nakuja kupewa. So hii ikipatikana iko na issues, as they were saying the other day, how wageni wenye walikuwa hapa. What then happens, because this imetoka kwa serikali na wamepewa, and then wenyewe waone iko na fault. What happens, because NLC ni part of government, when you wanatoa the Ministry of whatever lands now still bado ni part ya government. What do you do in that situation?
Asante sana. Sasa hiyo ndio sasa inatuleta katika vipengee kama hivi ambavyo vimerekebishwa. Kwa kawaida mambo kama hayo huwa uko na nafasi mbili. Ukienda kwa land registrar, yeye aseme processes zote zilifuatiliwa na kila kitu kiko sawa, wewe unabakia na option moja. Nenda kotini, ujaribu upate amri ya court order iweze kubatilisha or to nullify whatever was there, so that you start afresh. Sasa when the National Land Commission imepewa nafasi ya kushughulikia mambo kama hayo, itakuwa na ile amri ama authority ya kunullify kama title kama hizo. Na unaona ukienda katika kipengee cha 9 cha amendment hiyo, kinasema ya kuwa National Land Commission itaweza kudeal na cases of historical land injustices kwa njia hizi. Njia ya kwanza, wanaweza kufanya restitution. Restitution ni kurudisha kile ambacho kimeondolewa. Right? The other bit ni compensation. Wanaweza kusema, na sheria inasema compensation if it is impossible to restitute. Kama haiwezekani ya kuwa wewe pia umeenda pale, makosa haikuwa yako, shamba ilikuwa inafaa kuja kwangu, lakini si wewe unapeana title, wewe pia umeenda pale kama mimi. Lakini sasa wewe ndio umepewa, unaishi pale, umefanya vitu kama hivyo. So instead of doing 2 wrongs and expecting a right, mtasema huyo basi abakie na shamba, lakini huyu tutampatia fidia, an equivalent of where to go. Njia ya 3 ni resettlement. Resettlement watasema, kwa nini tubishanie shamba hii na bado kuna mashamba mengine? Tunaweza toa mtu huyu tumweke hapa na huyu, win-win. Njia ya 4 ni rehabilitation through provision of social infrastructure. Kama kuna vile shamba ambazo ziko na shida, wanaweza kufanya rehabilitation. Kuna affirmative action programs, kuna creation of wayleaves na easements. Wakati wewe pengine umepata title na hapo ndio njia watu walikuwa wanatumia, lakini wanataka kufanya mambo yako tofauti, unafunga njia. So they can create wayleaves and easements ya kuruhusu watu wengine wapitie katika shamba lako wa kupatia other developments. You understand?
Nimekuelewa.
Sasa kupitia njia kama hizo ambazo kuna historical, because that's a clear historical injustice whereby you say through an inequitable allocation or adjudication, ya kuwa ilikuwa inafaa kuja kwangu lakini imekuja kwa wajukuu wako sababu pengine mlikuwa mnakaa pale na vitu kama hivyo. Sheria hii vile vile inazungumzia wale watu wamekuwa inhabitants wa mahali pale for a long period of time. Sijui kama tunapatana. Sasa hivyo ndivyo tunaona the assenting into law of this particular bills will help do a lot more and also decongest courts. So unajua National Land Commissions, what you do, you write a letter. When you write a letter, you fill forms. After the filling of forms, then summons come to people to produce documents. Documents ikishaletwa, mnakaa kwenye kikao. It's actually a baraza meeting. We've attended the ones in Lamu, the ones here in Mombasa. So mnakaa katika baraza. Kila mtu anasema mahali pake, anatoa stakabadhi zake, wana assess, wanakuambia tuachie copies, do this and this. They assess. Kisha matokeo itatoka kwa njia ile ile. Barua inakuja, na barua hiyo iko na recommendation na vitu kama hivyo. Kwa saa hii wamepewa mamlaka ya kutoa directives. Sasa pengine kama barua ilikuwa ikuje kwako, barua ile itakuja kwako itakwambia matokeo, lakini directive itaenda kwa land registrar, inamwambia revoke that title, fanya hivi na hivi, fanya hivi na hivi. I think that's good.
All right, then.
Yeah.
We are speaking to Lawrence Obonyo, is an advocate of the High Court, and of course, you're looking at the bills that were passed by the President. And of course, one of them is the National Land Commission Amendment Bill 2023 that amends the law governing the National Land Commission. It aims to empower NLC to review past land allocations, handle compensation, manage public and community land, and of course offer more transparency. We would like to look at computer misuse and cybercrimes amendment bill 2024 when we get back. What does this mean? Some people say it's more of control. What does it mean? Is it protection? Is it do we call it digital censorship? What question do you have around the 8 bills that were passed by the President? We'll be right back. Good morning. We're looking at the bills that were assented by President William Ruto on the 15th of October. And so right now we're going into the second one, which is the Land Amendment Bill 2024 that modifies the Land Act.
Yes.
Break it down.
All right. So for this one, it looks at a very simple and I don't want to call it so simple, but it's just introduction of new categorizations and also an aspect of corrections. Again, it's an amendment, and an act can go through several amendments over the period of its for as long as possible, because anything that comes up that needs to fill in a gap or correct some wordings or make more understanding, and this is based on understanding and practical application. So in this particular aspect, we find that there is a reintroduction of the registrar and what the registrar can do. And then there's also an amendment of Section 12 of the Act, which says that the registration of public land allocated to the Commission in prescribed form. So there are lands that will be registered to the Commission, and then there's a prescribed form. And then particularly subsection 15, that is of Section 12, is what is most important. Talks about the Physical and Land Use Planning Act of 2019, bringing to capacity who can buy land and things like that, and who can use land. So in essence, the Act does not introduce anything out of the ordinary.
What was their need to modify the Land Act?
When you find that there are gaps, especially when we're talking, because land is not about occupation only. Land is about the use. That is that's the most important aspect of land. So you find that introducing such aspects of unincorporated public entities, introducing issues to talk with the planning and everything, basically goes to the usage of land. Because we know very well that stemming from the constitution, there are limitations as to who can own what land. We know what community land is, what public land, what private land is. We know the aspects of a foreigner not being able to own land, whether in person or through a company. Certain parcels of land, not all land. That is now the land that is considered that is freehold title. So, and we know the most important aspect of the land that has been brought up is what is we call the Sectional Titles Act, where you can own a title in an apartment and you don't own the other one. So these all go to usage. So with these particular amendments, they just go to specify because we've been moving with gazette notices. A gazette notice, we can call it like a policy and a directive by the person in charge on certain administrative aspects of, like the cabinet secretary in charge of lands, or the principal secretary therein can issue a gazette notice on something that is not clearly defined in law. So when you have all of these things come up, then you have the other aspect of someone challenging it, but that is not the law. It is not provided for anywhere in the law. So it provides a conundrum when you find that someone says, you want me to do that following a directive of the minister or the principal secretary, but it's not provided for in law. So to cure that problem, they go into the law and they issue they give an amendment that passes through parliament, where we have our representatives and the president assents it to law. So it's more or less of the usage.
Hapo kwa usage hapo.
Ndio.
For example, hapa Kwale hapa. Issue ya kulease.
Ndio.
It has been a problem.
Yes.
Mtu amelease, I think ni the list yenye najua ni 99. And then that thing unaambiwa inakuja kuisha. And then unasikia huyo mtu anataka kwenda kuongeza hiyo, because umesema usage.
Yes.
Anataka aongeze lease. Alafu
muda wake.
Muda wa kuendelea kuuse the land.
Correct.
And then unasikia the community around haitaki. And then politicians now wanakuja up and arms, wana support the community. That hapana mpaka community ihusishwe. That law.
Hawaja gusia hapa katika amendments kuhusiana na that lease, but already regulations ziko hapo. Wakati ambapo tunaita term kisheria, term ya lease inaisha, kama ulipewa 50 years, kama ulipewa 99 years, na wakati wa kikoloni walikuwa wanapewa 999 years. Wakati ambapo unaenda kuisha, before the renewal, first of all lazima tuelewe ya kuwa uko na automatic right ya kuapply for renewal. Lakini wakati ambapo una apply, zile public participation, community ideas na policy lazima zizingatiwe. Sababu pia hatutaki wakati mmoja wewe umepewa muda wa term ya kutumia shamba for 99 years, kisha ukishatengeneza gorofa ama umetengeneza mall hapo, baada ya muda fulani unakuja unanyang'anywa. Unaona, that's not a good usage of land. It is not what was envisaged by this aspect of leasing land. So lazima views za communities ziangaliwe. Najua ukizungumzia Kwale unaweza zungumzia wale watu wanafanya prospecting na vitu kama hivyo. So prospecting pia iko na mambo yake. Ukiangalia katika land, tukiangalia makampuni kama Base Titanium ama wale wanatoa madini kwenye ardhi. Unajua community has to be involved because there is a lot of ripple effect ama zile vitu ambazo zina spill over zinaenda kwenye community. That is why it is very much important for that process of public participation to be there. Lakini hapo tukiangalia wale wa prospecting na madini na mambo kama hayo, tutazungumza the whole day because it's a different aspect. But the lease aspect of it is that, one, it is a usage of term of land that is given to any individual, but mostly to foreigners. And even for you, if the land has been mapped in terms of the urban zoning, ya kuwa ni wakati mahali ambapo huwezi on freehold, then you will be given an opportunity to use the land for a period of time. When that time is coming to an end, you have a right to apply for renewal. It is not automatic that you will be renewed, but the legitimate expectation is that renewal itakuja, unless there are circumstances, and those circumstances may come out of the public participation.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's look at the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment.
Yes.
What new powers or penalties are introduced here?
So in the wildlife management, when we look at the conservation management, actually the introduction that has come is not mostly on penalties, but we've just had a widening of the bracket of the words that or the animals that are included. Now we have shark, stonefish, whale, and stingray as part of the animals that the wildlife can. I can see you shaking your head, but it's important when you go. When you wait. Let me just when you go to Wasini, when you go to Wasini or any other place, you're going into the water.
Yes. I'm not like he's being skeptical about this.
I wonder why.
Take this seriously.
Because when you go out for swimming, let's say you're chasing the dolphin and everything, you get into the water, you step onto a stonefish. You know it has a poison and aspect of it. Maybe you have to be amputated. Do you get compensation like the person who had conflict with an elephant or not? So the answer is yes now within this act.
Okay, so what have they
and
widened?
Shark.
So they're including
sharks, stonefish, whales, and stingrays. And
so what happens? So in case these animals
sting you
or hurt you or in any way, then you get compensated.
Yes, because the Kenya Wildlife and Marine Conservation, they are under mandate to give you the notices and direct you on where to go, and actually it's more of a duty of care that they owe you, because these are their areas of work. So they come, you go there and they tell you, Miriam, do not go to this level because we have stingray there, and the effects of stingray is 1, 2, 3. Still, when you get stung, then you have to get compensation in one way or the other. The other aspect of it is
why are you being skeptical?
No,
is widening of the bracket.
Okay.
Salim.
I'm listening the law.
It has involved, there's a committee for compensation in terms of conservation. It has been widened to include the Kenya Coast Guard Service, to include the Kenya Fisheries and Services Department, and also Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, KEMFRI. So these people were not in the panel or the committee for compensation initially. Wakaongeza pale. Ndio maana
kwa sababu ya sting.
Animal si stingray peke yake. Animal human wildlife conflict was limited to what we hear that like hyenas, like elephants and all that. But what happens to you when you go to a marine conservation site and you get hurt? What if a shark bites off your hand?
You want to tell me that was not included?
It was not.
Why? Why are we just assuming that our people don't go, don't get into water?
No, you see,
Salim has something to say, and he does not agree with this.
Though
I think it's fundamentally important.
No, I don't see. It's other set.
He doesn't even know how to swim.
I actually don't know how to swim, and I don't like that one. Kwa sababu, you see, human conflicts na wanyama. It's that, for example, tuchukue mfano mzuri, and wewe ni wakili na I know you've handled that matter. Watu wa Ganze.
Naam.
Ganze, ndovu wamekuja kwa watu.
Kwa mashamba.
Sawa. Wametoka kule wanafaa kuwa. Wamekuja kwa watu.
Don't say whatever it is you want to say.
Hiyo ni conflict. Watu, for example, kama mimi nimefuata
maji
wanyama.
Umeenda pengine hujafuata wanyama.
Mimi mahali nasema mimi. Mimi mahali niko, mahali nyumba yangu iko kwa zone ya wanyama. So
ama kwa boda.
Tuseme most likely kwa hapo kwa boda, but nimewafuata. So whatever happens there, ni mimi ndio nitakuwa.
Are you trying to say that you don't need to be protected?
I'm supposed to be protect myself.
So you're supposed to be protecting the animal instead?
Kwa sababu nimewafuata.
So what are you saying about the marine benefits?
So hakuna mtu anafaa kuingia majini?
Ingieni kwa maji, lakini huko mmeenda kwa zoni yao. Hiyo ni zoni ya wanyama. Halafu umeambiwa, what I'm saying is umeambiwa hapa
huyo angekuwa
usiende.
mbunge hii haingepitishwa.
By the way, haingeona the day.
Saying.
This one wouldn't see the day.
So you want to say those people who go to Lamu, in fact those people who live in an island, you want to say
Talk of fishermen, kuna watu wale
Exactly.
beach management units ambapo
Ehe.
fisher that's a business.
Business wameamua wanafanya. They've endangered.
They are risk.
Ehe. Na biashara ni risk.
Mwanasheria mzuri, wacha nikupe kipengee cha sheria kinaweza kusaidia, kinaitwa voluntary non-fit injuria.
What
what does that mean?
Voluntary non-fit injuria inamaanisha wakati unajiweka katika hatari hufai kulalamika wakati ambapo unaumia.
That's it.
Lakini haiapply hivyo.
Do you want to repeat it because I know you'll say it over and over again? Voluntary
Voluntary injuria.
Sema voluntary non-fit
non-fit
injuria. Yes.
I am becoming a lawyer.
But let us agree these amendments are really good.
No, I honestly like the wildlife conservation one. I didn't think that we were not protected in water.
No, we were not. In certain aspects, we were not.
Yeah.
You know the stonefish, sometimes you may be taking a walk at the shores, maybe a public beach.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this kind of fishes are swept out by
Yes.
the waters,
Yeah.
the tides. And then a stonefish does not know how to swim back very fast. So it's stuck somewhere in there. So you're taking your walk, be it a reflective, romantic, relaxing walk at the beach. And then it looks like a stone. You step on it.
Yeah.
What happens?
And it stings you. You need to get compensated.
Salim.
Where?
Stop being skeptical. Wait. Yeah. All right. So now let's take a look at the Cybercrime and Digital Space Amendment.
Yes.
So the new cyber law, some say it's protection.
Yes.
Others call it digital censorship.
Yes.
What's your honest take with a breakdown of what it means?
My honest take is that, again, we need to stop fear mongering and have people read actually what is there.
Okay.
Because even myself as an advocate, when I woke up this morning and part of yesterday, what I was seeing online being circulated is not actually what I read. So let people take an opportunity to actually read first. Of course, we have the aspects of censorship that we would never want, and we never want to go back there. But this act, if we were to break it down, it's just a 5-page or 4-page act. So the active part may be 3 pages. The first thing, they introduce the definitions. They use the word access, and they want to expand what access means. And they say that it's through a program or a device immediately after the words a person. So when they say when a person accesses a computer, they're expanding it that you may not have to access a computer physically. You may access it through a program. You know the way people leave bags in certain other people, like I want to bag your phone, I want to bag this and that. So they are widening the scope. Then they go further to the definition, say what an asset is, to include virtual assets. What they're saying, that movable, immovable, physical, and virtual assets. So that takes us back to there's also another act that has been passed talking about virtual assets. So they're widening the scope. The other definition that has been reintroduced is what a computer misuse is. Now, computer misuse under the amendment means unauthorized use, modification, or access to a computer system or program or data. So if you are unauthorized to access my data, if you are unauthorized to modify my data, if you are unauthorized to use my data, and you do that, then you are committing a computer misuse.
Lawrence, it's on this particular one, it says that the government also has now powers to block websites and apps. What safeguards exist to prevent abuse of that power?
Miriam, I'll ask you. Maybe we are looking at, maybe we pull it up and then we can ask which particular amendment introduces that.
I will still go back to it again.
Because
Umeanza
maybe
fire.
what someone can say
Yeah.
is that Section 3 of the amendment says, where it is proved that a website or application promotes unlawful activities, inappropriate sexual content of a minor, terrorism or religious extremism or cultism, misuse, issue a directive to render the website or application inaccessible. That is where the shutting down is, yeah?
So they have to prove that.
They have to prove. It says
There is nothing wrong.
it is amended by inserting the following paragraph immediately after paragraph J, where it is proved.
Like wale wenye
Shall I
very
show
skeptical.
you? Shall I show you the
sasa
same
wewe
thing?
umeanza kwa spec si uskek we
Skeptical.
mimi huku kwa stone nimekuwa spec pe hiyo umeanza nini hapa hii
Liam, you see, this is what we're talking about. Read that section. Sorry.
Please read.
JA.
Okay, so section where is it? JA says where it is proved.
Yes, let's go step by step. Where it is proved.
Where it is proved that a website
Ndio.
or application promotes unlawful activities, inappropriate sexual content of a minor,
Of a
terrorism
minor.
or religious extremism and cultism,
Yes.
issue a directive to render the website or application inaccessible.
Inaccessible. So the Communications Authority and the government
the law is very clear
will
very clear
render it inaccessible.
Yeah.
Or in other simple terms, they will block it.
so
Remember, because you may not access the source. Shutting down means that you shut it from the source, but rendering it inaccessible means that, you see, in Ethiopia, we have Skype. You cannot access Skype. The app is there. The system is there. But when you try, you cannot access it.
I like the fact that, so who is responsible for actually shutting this down? That's the Communication Authority.
Not shutting it down, rendering it inaccessible.
Fine, let me use the right
Blocking
words.
it.
It
Who
will
is
be there.
responsible for rendering it inaccessible?
It's the Communication Authority.
And it's the same Communication Authority that we also saw a while back, not so far back.
Yes.
When media houses were covering protests that also sort of interfered with that coverage. How
Yes.
are we able to trust that it's genuine and it's not being used for government's gain?
Then I'll ask you a very pertinent question. When they did that, maybe they shut down certain protests or upheavals, and they did it from an administrative point. What happened? A court order was issued, and it suspended that directive, correct? Now, the wordings of this act are now giving you a stretch further, now more responsibility to the Communication Authority to prove it. Where it is proved, they're not saying where it is suspected, where they deem that, but where it is proved. Who has the mandate to prove?
The Communication Authority. Who
To
does?
whom? To whom? My understanding is that in most aspects that, let's say, even in anti-corruption and ethics and this other, we know that the police do what we call a miscellaneous application. This is an application you make ex parte without the participation of the other person in court, and then an order is given. So it gives more responsibility to the Communications Authority to go an extra mile and prove that actually these websites are promoting child pornography, that is sexual content for minors, are promoting religious extremism and cultism, because these are not things that are defined or shown anywhere. You have to prove. So to whom do you prove? A judicial body, in my understanding. Yes, you just don't wake up and then say that Swahili Pot FM is now inaccessible because they were talking about this. No. You have to prove.
Assuming that we're not in an authoritarian
we are not
government.
in
Anyway, I ask your question.
we are not
Man, I got you thinking, because again,
No, I'm just look. In a fair world,
yes,
it would make sense, but it's not really.
a fair world.
It's not really a fair world. It's not a fair.
Don't you find refuge in this particular clause that says where it is proved.
At what point in Kenya have we ever been interested in proving certain things?
This
Don't
is-
we act
no,
before?
no, but-
Okay,
but-
okay. Let me what my
Miriam,
opinion.
okay,
My opinion. Sawa. My opinion.
Imesema hivi hapo kama nimeelewa. Stories za sexual
Sexual content za watoto.
kwa watoto, extremism.
Unajua hata hawajaweka sexual content ya
Kwa
watu
watu wazima.
Wamesema ya watoto.
Alafu extremism
And cultism.
na cultism.
Yes.
Miriam, hizi vitu ni mbaya si mbaya? Hizo vitu
Oh no, they're very bad.
very bad.
Yes.
Sawa.
And if they can control the cultism,
Yes.
yes.
And extremism.
Yes.
And sexual content
all
kwa watoto.
that.
Hapo hatuna problem.
Hamna shida.
Now, hii story yenye niliona online hata mimi inanichanganya.
Sema.
Ya zinaitwa memes sijui nini.
Memes.
Memes.
It's my memes. Memes,
Wewe
yeah.
wanazuia memes sijui nini. Wapi? This hula balloons na propaganda zinakuwaga.
That's why you need to break it down. Because you see,
Yes.
we do not.
You know, hapo ndo problem iko. For example, if it were for me,
Yes.
the person mwenye aliproduce a video ya marehemu
Yes.
akisema anafanana na Kalonzo Musyoka,
Yes.
that one would be in jail if it were for me. But see, ilikuwa na iliachwa. Kuna mtu ameshikwa. That thing is not blocked. The law is very clear. Lakini mtu amesamehewa. Na tunaishi. But if it were for me,
If it were for you.
huyu angekuwa yuko shanzo. Inaitwa nini?
Shimo la tewa.
Let me take you back to the question you were asking. The main issue here is the rendering of inaccessible. You render a website inaccessible.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not a studio or a channel on TV that is shut down. It is a website that we are talking about. Let's talk of a website that www.123.com that has been posting and promoting sexual content for minors, that has been promoting religious extremism and cultism, that has been promoting terrorism, that has been promoting unlawful activities, and the authority proves that they've been doing this.
Yeah.
Then they render it inaccessible. Remember, they've not shut it down. They have blocked it. That is what I understand by rendering inaccessible.
Hapo unlawful.
Pale kwa unlawful.
Hapo kwa unlawful ndo nafasi. Hapo ndo mali kunauma Miriam.
No, it's okay. You know what?
Hizo
We are
nyingi.
learning.
But again, hata kabla turudi hapo, because hiyo it's very ile kitu nasema Barisa ni muhimu sana sababu when you leave something to interpretation,
Yes.
it can be misused.
Yes.
Yes.
But now there's the fail-safe that they have to prove it.
They have to prove.
Yes.
Okay.
Then when you go to section 27, imeinsert ama imeongeza the things that hapa be inserted to include or is likely to cause them to commit suicide. The content ile umepeana pale is likely to cause another person to commit suicide. You remember those times that watu walikuwa natumia things like revenge porn, watu wanatumia sensitive information, alafu unasikia mtu amejiua because the content is out there. So to regulate such things, in my humble opinion, is very important because it attacks the social and psychological aspect of someone else. And if not controlled, we will head south.
All right then.
Yes.
We are speaking to Lawrence Obonyo, and of course we're looking at the 8 bills that were centered by
The president.
the president
On 15th.
on the 15th of October.
Very early in
And
the
of course
morning.
we've looked at the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Amendment Bill 2024, and I think this is something that we need to look into deeper. Yes. When we get back, we're going to look at the National Police Service Commission Amendment Bill 2024. What does that mean for the National Police Commission? Is it going to change things in the police service? And then also there's the air passenger service charge.
Jesus. Nimeona 600 mali na sijui $50. I don't understand.
There's a lot. So we're debunking this today so that we may all understand. So tukienda pale social media tukipiga kelele, we
ukwe
talk
na
about,
elimu.
yes, tukuwe na vitu zenye tunajua.
Sio memes.
So, thank you so much. And you know what? We were talking about the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Amendment Bill. Now, this is among the 8 bills that were passed by President that were assented to on the 15th of October by President William Ruto. We've talked about the National Land Commission Amendment Bill 2023, the Land Amendment Bill 2024, Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill 2023, and the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Amendment Bill 2024. What you need to know is that the Principal Act is amended by inserting the following new section immediately after Section 46. This is on this Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Amendment Bill 2024. And it says, I'm going to quote Section 46A, it says, where a person has been convicted of an offense related to promotion of unlawful activities, inappropriate sexual content. Convicted.
Yes.
Convicted of an offense related to promotion of unlawful activities, inappropriate sexual content of a minor, terrorism or religious extremism and cultism, and the person was using a computer system, the website or digital device in contravention of this act, the court may, number one, order the person to remove the content or materials from the computer system, website, or digital device. Number two, order the person to close or deactivate the computer system, website, or digital device. Sorry. And then number three, make such orders as the court may deem inappropriate. That is the breakdown. Appropriate.
Yes.
All right. So we got it.
Yes.
Let's not look at the... Let me get it. Let's now look at the National Police Service Commission Amendment Bill 2024.
Yes.
When we are looking at this,
yes,
what does it mean? Does it seek to... Does this amendment make the police more accountable or just more controlled?
To my understanding, in the famous words of... what's the name of this former American president, George Bush? Yeah, he talked about winning the hearts and minds. So for us to have a national police service that is accountable to the people, we need to have them win the hearts and minds of the people, because they are the protectors. Now, when you look at what the National Police Service Act amendments provide, what caught my eye is actually the amendments that go to address the mental issues that are within the police force.
Okay.
Because when you talk about Section 85, start by Section 2 of the amendment. That is amendment of Section 85. And it talks, Section 2 of the Act. It talks of counseling, definition of counseling, definition of psychosocial support and wellness as an introduction to the National Police Act. And then Section 3, which talks about, refers to Section 10 of the Act, says that to establish a counseling and psychosocial support unit to oversee and formulate programs to promote mental health and well-being of members of the police.
Yeah.
Many a times when you have atrocities and excesses, as well as things that are not good, then we look at the Police Act and we ask ourselves, do they get any psychosocial support?
Yeah.
Are they mentally okay to hold a gun and stare down the barrel and look at someone and make the right choice?
Yeah.
So this is very important, because it goes further to say that this shall be devolved to each county police headquarters. So each county police headquarter has to have the wellness and psychosocial support for the police service. And then this can further be devolved to each police station.
Yeah.
So we start at a county level, and then we go to sub-county level, and then we can now trickle it down. Now, what to look at mostly is the consultation, what is referred to as Section 12A, looking at mental health and wellness resources, which include counseling. You know, the police service does not have that right now.
They don't have counseling.
They don't have that.
Why? Shouldn't every department
of
every institution
Now,
have that?
With the knowledge that they don't have that, are you safe around any police officer?
No,
Because they don't
because
have...
a simple trigger.
So they say that in the amendment of Section 12A, they are saying that every county shall establish a well-equipped center in offices, camps, training colleges, and communities for police officers to receive psychosocial support.
Okay.
This is a proposal.
Yeah.
So being a proposal, it tells you that right now we are lacking. So that's a gap.
Yeah.
These are the amendments that are glaring in the act as we are reading them.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for making time today.
You're most welcome.
And for breaking, so I know we've not gone through all the eight bills.
Yeah, it was a lot to unpack within the time that we have.
Yes, but you know what? Kama a Kenyan,
Yes.
we decided that we're going to be woke. So take your time and go through the bills, understand. And so when you're going on social media and you're talking about it, you know what you're talking about. And you're not just making noise.
Kuna mtu wa kutusomea. Tulikuwa
Tushaambiwa sasa.
Kusomewa. Mwenye kutusomea.
Shambiwa sasa.
Sahi tushaambiwa.
Yes.
Referring to Baba.
Haja.
I did not.
He's said it twice.
Achana na mimi.
Go ahead, baby. Yeah.
Burudani zaidi.
Yeah.
Nobody do it like we do it, so show us some love.
Hii ni Swahili Pot FM.